going to be cooking beef Wellington. First thing we need to do is put 2 tablespoons of olive oil in our skillet. And then kind of move your skillet around a little bit so it gets all of the olive oil coated around. Now take your tenderloin and place it in the skillet. Season it with kosher salt, black pepper. Then take your tenderloin and turn it over once it's browned on the other side. We're going to brown it for about 5 minutes. Take your mushrooms and quarter them. Cut them in small pieces. They don't have to be perfect, just so they're small and they have enough room to move around in the food processor. Now place your mushrooms in the food processor, seasoned with kosher salt, black pepper, and now we're ready to mix. Don't overmix, just enough to get them well blended. We're going to take the mushrooms and place them in a non-stick pan. Do not place anything else in there except for just the mushrooms. Now if you want to add extra herbs and stuff, that's fine, but don't place any oils or anything. The water will cook out of the mushrooms, and that's exactly what we want. They'll get nice and brown once you come to the end of it. Now, be sure before you place your ham down, you want to have your saran wrap ready, and you'll see in just a minute why. Now we have our mushrooms on top, and we're just going to spread them around. Get them nice and spread evenly all the way around. Now take your tenderloin and place it on top of the ham and the mushrooms. Take one side of the saran wrap and place it over top of the tenderloin. Then do the same for the other side. Make sure it's nice and tight. Now we're going to take our tenderloin and place it on top of another piece of saran wrap, lengthwise. Roll it over, twist the ends really tight, then place it in the refrigerator for about 25 minutes. On a floured surface, place your pastry sheet on top and roll it out till you have the length that you need for your tenderloin. Place your tenderloin on top of your pastry sheet and then spread it around with the egg wash. Make sure you get all of the sides of the pastry sheet. We want this to stick well. Now take one side of your pastry sheet and fold it over on one side of the tenderloin. Do the same for the other side. Make sure it's nice and tight. Now we're going to take our corners and we're going to pinch the sides of them really well. Make sure they're nice and tight and sealed. Starting to look good, isn't it? Oh yeah. We're getting it nice and tight. It's exactly what we want. Take your egg wash and spread it nice and evenly all the way around the top of the tenderloin. Get it nicely coated because when we bake this, we're going to have a nice brown crust to our tenderloin. Take a paring knife and score the top of the pastry. You can do any design here that you want to do, but I just did mine with diagonal lines. It's going to look really nice once it's finished. Do the same for the other side. Now we're going to sprinkle it with kosher salt. Now you know, if I wasn't on camera right now, I would take this whole thing and put it in my mouth. That's right, the whole thing. I want to cut the Wellington about 1 inch thick, and here I've placed a rosemary red wine herb reduction on top of it with some mashed potatoes and some sweet carrots.